Welcome back to another Tera Plays Tera video. Today's video, we are going to go over Tera's 110.01 in-game update. Now, this video has been delayed, and I do apologize. Part of it's due to, again, if you watch yesterday's video, just me being super crazy busy, dealing with a lot of stuff, as well as in that video, depending how far you made it, you would probably understand that Tera console is very unstable right now, and this kind of delayed the video as well. Usually I try to get them out the weekend after the update, but a lot of people haven't been able to log on. I was barely able to play with the diabolical wing glitch as it is, and you'll probably notice right now that Highwatch is super dead for me, and that's because instead of dealing with that glitchy bullshit thing, I'm on the Xbox only server. I'm not dealing with it. Usually there would be tons of people around, right? Yeah, a bunch of Xbox, PlayStation kids, crossplay. When there's at least like 10 to 20 people in one area, if that, guarantee one of them has the wings on, and yeah, the game just, like I said. So I was like, how do I even make this video with that, loading screen and not being able to do anything? I was like, once I found out that it was the wings, I was like, let me just go to Xbox only server. It should work, and it seems to be smoother here. So let's go over the changes. The first thing I want to go over is dungeons. As always, I like to take a minute and look at what dungeons have to offer. So we do have Cataclysimal Hard. It has been cleared. This dungeon is amazing. The fact that it gives 30,000 gold for clear is great. Your first daily clear of it gives you a high training book, which will cover all of that in a bit with the pet stuff. Is fantastic, and just its drops are actually good. This is a good dungeon. This is great. It's challenging, it's fun. I do plan to hopefully be recording runs and do my own guide as soon as I can. But again, it's kind of hard to play the game with the glitches, so I do apologize. But the dungeon is fantastic. As you can see, we do still have Cursed AA. It drops a low and medium training book. Within that, any 465 also drops low and medium training books. And then anything 460 does the same, actually. Yeah, AQ's 460. Gossamer's Vault Normal, and anything below 455 only drops the low training books. So, as you can see, all of these are low training books. Ruinous Manor Hard and Ruinous Manor Normal. I've mentioned they are not meant to be here. It's meant to be Darkreach Citadel, and they would be dropping the same loot as their counterparts. The thing is, though, they didn't anticipate not being able to put these in. So once you clear Ruinous Manor as a Vanguard, you get 4 low training books, and then for RM normal mode you get 3 low training books. So that's the thing with these. Do understand, all these dungeons that give low training books, those are a share drop. So let's say you clear Gossamer's Vault and it drops 5 low training books, everyone gets those 5 books. The medium and high training book are not share drop. Only one of them drops and one person gets it, and then that's it. So that's the loot, that's the dungeon pool. Very, very good work that they've done with this stuff, I will say. Cataclysimal Hard is just a great dungeon. The rewards are actually rewarding, and overall they've done a really good work on spreading out the wealth of the training books. And again, you might be like, well, what do you mean? We'll get into that when we get into going over pets directly, because that's going to be a large section. So the next thing I want to cover, since I am in High Watch, is all the merchants. So let's start with the good old premium store. This has been refreshed, so if you need any of these items, go ahead, definitely grab your 2 tickets. I'm actually going to grab mine now. And that is fantastic. So that's that guy. For rupiers, as we know, they were taken out of the Bamarama boxes. I was a big fan of using those. So there's only 2 ways to really get normal rupiers. One is crafting. I guess you could still buy off the trade broker, or you could come to the good old specialty store and you can buy them for 160 gold. So basically this does tank the rupier trade broker market, but I mean, you know, you can quickly get them if you need them. If you don't want to craft, you can just buy them out. I actually like this. I think this is good. This is something PC has always had for a long time. And it's just something that is well-rounded. Again, if you want to save your gold, definitely go and craft. People might undercut this price in the trade broker. You'd have to look for that. But that's a nice quality of change that I think was very much needed. The last thing is the Dungeon Essence Merchant. When this patch first came out, there was a glitch with this guy that the New Year's guy was standing on top of him. I'm very happy that within the first few hours of talking to support, they could fix this. So now it's just the Dungeon Essence Merchant. We do not have the New Year's event yet. He wasn't meant to even be in the game because he had last year's stuff and it's just a whole ordeal. So we'll go over his market as well, because he has some really kind of cool stuff. The usual consumables, the usual enchant materials, stigmas. They've added a legendary stigma exchange coin, and you can buy 4 of them. Every time he resets, you'll be able to buy another 4. It costs 20 dungeon essence. And basically what this does, I'll go into the bank and show it in a bit, but you can exchange 10 of these to get any superior stigma of your choice. Then we also have a bunch of fashion stuff, the Frostbite Kelsex weapon skin crate, care and use of your pet Maltese. If you don't have a pet, you can get one for free this way. I actually really like that they're doing this, because for people who don't have a pet that's new to a game, they can farm their pet, at least one per account, you know. And then yeah, just more cosmetics, the usual. That is it for the Dungeon Essence. Besides, I do want to show that token and exactly what I mean. I believe, I apologize, I should have put this in like my inventory, but here we go. When we go into this token, basically you click on it, and yeah, once you have 10 of them, you can buy any type, defense, soul, or attack of any kind of stigma. Even the superior or the top stigmas also cost 10. So let's say maybe you're a Reaper that's been running full souls and you finally want an attack, and instead of grinding all that way up to making, I don't know, a green or blue into superior, you can just wait a few resets and just straight up buy it. And this is a great method for alts. Now I would suggest if you're playing a main that still needs it, I wouldn't wait 3 seasons unless you're really casual. But still, yeah, I do think this is nice. I think it's very good that they are working more ways to gain stigmas, because that's something that I've been saying to them for quite a while, is you need to add more to stigmas. And now that we have the pet system, stigmas really should start becoming that neutral ground that everyone can just get pretty casually, pretty quickly. So that's it for all the store changes. Again, there's been some stuff missing that I still can't find. If you want to know more about what is missing, go ahead and check out yesterday's video, the Tera console news. I cover a lot of that good stuff. Now we're gonna get into pets. So First off, before you even click open your pets, make sure you register a pet. All you have to do is go into your inventory, scroll through wherever your pet books are, and equip a pet. When you go into your pets, you'll see a list of all your pets. You can see that I have some white pets, I have some green pets, and I have a blue pet. I currently do not have a superior pet, but I will do my best to go over that whole shebang, what the difference of these guys are. And basically you can summon these pets. Once you summon it, they give you those stats, as you can see, that are on like my summon pet currently. Within that, we're gonna kind of take this one step at a time. You can go over to train, you'll have to have gold, and you'll have to have the books. And then what that does is training a pet will give you the option. It will re-roll your stats, and then it also has a chance of upgrading your pet to the new tier. White's going to green, green's going to blues, blues going to yellow. Yes, you can add your pet to the shortcut, but if you swap character, it's just going to, disappear. Stats increase as they upgrade. Whites get 1 stat, blues get 2, or greens get 2, blues get 3. Yellows get the same 3 that blues do at a better rarity, as well as a transcendent skill. I can't cover all the transcendent skills, what they all do. I believe Rawr might be sending me some pictures, so if he is, I'm gonna put those up on the screen now and you can look at them. But the way the transcendent skills work is basically they work just like a dragon buff. Is that the transcendent skill pops, it lasts X amount of time, and then it goes on cooldown for, I think it's 1:30 seconds roughly. At this point in the video, I do want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Rawr, Pixie, and Cataclysimal. They all have superior pets, took some pictures, and they were kind enough to let me show these pictures to y'all in this video. So within that, in the description below, I will have their YouTubes and Twitch linked. Go ahead, go over, show some love to them, give them some support, and yeah, feel free to read through what they have. Now let's go over how do you actually upgrade and change your pets. Well, there's training books that I mentioned earlier. I have some of them in my inventory somewhere. I should have got these out too. I apologize. Here they go. I have some low training books and I have some training book pages that we'll cover. The thing is that your pets have a rarity of upgrading. So a white pet has a base of 10% to go to green. A green pet has a base of 1%. And a blue has a base of 0.1%. So when you go to menu and you go to training, you'll see these low training books. The low training books don't give any multiplier. So if I was to try and upgrade this pet right now, I would have a flat 10% chance of it going from white to green. If I use the low training book on a pet that's a green, I'd have the 1% chance. Now, if you have the medium training book, you multiply it by 2. And the training book, if you read it, will say multiply by 2. If you have a high training book, it then multiplies by 3. And I believe the superior training book that we'll get from upcoming events, along with you can buy them in the Tera store, multiply the number by 10. So obviously, save your high training books for your blue pets, save your mediums for your green pets, and your lows for your low pets. Do know a white and a green pet can use all the training books. For whatever reason, greens can use low. Blue pets, by the way, can only use high and superior training books. So you can't even re-roll a blue pet with a low or a medium training book. You have to have the higher superior training books. And superior pets need the high training books to re-roll their stats. Now, let's cover what I mean by re-rolling the stats. Pets work just like stigmas. Cool, I one-shot it. Don't even need it. But pets are just like stigmas. I swear, if it one-shots again, thank God. That basically when you go to train them, you go to upgrade them, you also reroll the stats. This is all mixed in one, which is really nice because, you know, there's no enchanting your pet to +5, having another pet to sacrifice it into upgrading it. It's just you keep rerolling until you get the stats you want, or it upgrades. And when you finally have a superior pet, you just keep re-rolling until you get the stats you want. The other really cool thing is that, as you can see, I can keep my current stats, or I can select the new stats. So both of these have an MP roll, which is kind of bad. Raise max HP isn't really needed on a warrior, so I'd be inclined to keep my crit factor. Again, I would use this pet, increase crit factor by 5. I like the cooldown roll, and the aggro roll is kind of trash. But here's the thing, if I was to go to upgrade this pet, and it doesn't upgrade, and it keeps giving me HP rolls or trash triple MP rolls, I can just keep this cooldown, because that's better than any MP roll. And then if I see I gotta decrease cooldown by 0.4 and increase damage to enraged and damage to enrage, then I can select that roll. So the pet system is really nice in the fact that we've already covered all the ways to get the books except for one. And we've covered that, like, even though it's going to be really annoying to keep re-rolling to get perfect stats, that if you keep getting trash stats, there's no, you know, backwards progression. And that's one thing I've been yelling at the devs, is stop the backwards progression. This is finally a system that no matter what has forwards progression. That being that whether if you get passive skills you don't like on a reroll, you can keep your old skills, including that works with the transcendent skill. As well as I mentioned about the pet or the pages, right? And you might see these training book pages and be like, well, what are those? You can get 75 of these and get a high training book. The cool thing is, oh yeah, if you dismantle your low books or your medium books, you can get training pages. The lows give 1 for 1. Mediums, I believe, give 7 or 8 pages, and you can't dismantle highs. So even if you do nothing but run your low tier dungeons, you can keep dismantling these books to keep getting pages. It's all a form of everything's finally useful. Everything has forward progression. I have to give it to them. Even though the game is very unstable right now, there's a lot of issues with the game, the pet system is actually not trash. Now I will say I think it's going to make people really overpowered. It's already been confirmed you can get triple of the same roll. I've gotten increased damage by 1% for 2 rolls, which means you can get 3 cooldown rolls of the same thing, and that it will... let's just swap over to the PC screen real quick. Here's all the pet passives you can get, which means when you have a white pet, you can get your power by 1, you can get increased attack speed. These are all the white passives. The passives are not the transcendent skill, by the way. These are when you get a green pet. These are when you get a blue pet. Feel free to pause the screen if you want to look at anything particular. As you can see, decreased cooldown by 0.5 is the best that a blue pet can provide you. And by the way, you can get 3 of these, so your blue pet can yield you a total of 1.5 cooldown. And again, yellow. You could get a max of 22 power. You could get a max of 15% damage on enraged, or for tanks, 15% damage with aggro. I mean, you could just get 3 15% damage rolls. 2.2 cooldowns max. You can, we're not 100% sure, but we've already seen double green rolls of the same, if you can get double yellow rolls of the same, you can literally get 6.6% cooldown. That's a way more cooldown than any Stigma can give you. Now, again, the chance of getting that is probably very, very limited, but the fact that it is possible, I will say I think pets are gonna definitely break the game, and the devs in the future, once people have mid-maxing pets, probably will have to rework bosses' HPs, but for right now, as a whole, the system is pretty nice. The system isn't as grind terrible. Sure, you can argue it's pay to win because you can buy your books right outright. You could buy a bunch of high books every day and just dump it in. But compared to Stigmas, it is free to play friendly compared to Stigmas. Yes, it's a much higher grind if you're free to play. Yes, obviously you'd get a superior pet much faster if you dump a wallet into the game, but you almost don't have to if you just run your dungeons. And again, run your dungeons, you get gold, you'll get mats, you'll get everything you need. Overall, the pet system, I think, will need a rework in the future, but I think the grind, the devs are on a good spot, and I'm happy that they've done that, finally. The last few things I want to talk about in this video is just two miscellaneous things, and that is that you can change your damage numbers officially. They finally added this, which I am so happy that they added, and that you can change your damage font transparency. For those that aren't sure, that means like how well you can see through your damage, as well as the size. You can make the damage smaller or larger to take up less screen space. This is very much useful. I'm very glad we have that. Something PC had that console should have had for a long time ago. So, and then the last thing is the Kaia's Brooch. They changed the effect of the Kaia's Brooch, and here it is! Pop pop! Yeah, that's it. It looks prettier, I guess. It's not just coral foil wings, but I don't know, it's not as cool as the Shadow Hunter Brooch or the Mirror Brooch turning you into something else. But again, who knows, maybe we'll have to get a combined altered Kaia's Brooches or some crazy thing to get a superior Kaia's Brooch that changes us. But again, that's everything that I have written out to cover and all the changes in the game. For the most part, I'm not covering events. Again, events are really hard to cover with the glitches currently going on anyway. So that's about it. Hopefully the devs do fix all of these issues, and just the pets alone have so many issues. World events have issues. Again, if you want to see those issues, go ahead and check out yesterday's video. If any of this stuff was helpful to you, feel free to like this video. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to put them in the comment section down below. I'll do my best to answer them as soon as I can. That's about it. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing if you want to see more Tera console content. Maybe you're not new to the channel, maybe you keep coming back. I'd greatly appreciate if you considered subscribing. It would help me out a bunch. Again, that's it. Hope to see you in Aboria Gamers, and hope you have a fantastic day or a night.